So today we're going to be talking about flashbacks. So flashbacks are usually used to reveal some sort of trauma or there's a memory trigger that is revealed through a flashback. So we've heard a lot of times flashbacks are something you should not use in a script. Today we're going to be talking about how that's not always the case. It's just that maybe you've read a lot of bad scripts that use flashbacks way too much. So there's two types of flashbacks in a story. The first one is an occasional flashback. We're in the middle of the story, we're in the present, and then at some point we flash back to something that happened because something is triggered. Or the second case is structural flashbacks. Like the movie Titanic, for example. Most of the movie is told in the past. It's the old version of Rose telling the story. So the whole movie is constructed around a big flashback. But most of the times we're talking about just occasional flashbacks. And that's where sometimes there's some tricky things that can happen. So what are the positives about flashbacks and how can we use them in a way that actually help our story? So the first is we can reveal a vivid past, It's not just someone telling us a story and using a lot of exposition to reveal something. Instead of that, we can have a vivid memory and we can see it play out on the screen visually. The second one is that we can sometimes go into a character's mind. We not always get to do that, but with a flashback, we can do that, and that can reveal so much about what a character is doing or what he or she wants, what they need, what they're thinking. The third thing is to show what's happened. Sometimes we are in the present and we're trying to understand and put pieces together, but with the use of a flashback, something there can be revealed and illuminated, And the fourth thing would be a trauma or a revelation. Sometimes we don't understand why a character is so triggered by something. But then we go into a flashback and we understand that there's a past trauma that really altered this character's perception of things. So that way that gets illuminated for us. But regardless of all of these positives of flashbacks, there are two main things that people really have to avoid when writing flashbacks. And that's what we always hear about, this myth of why flashbacks shouldn't be used. The first of them is writing flashbacks with no purpose. A lot of times writers just put in flashbacks to kind of just like add pages to a script or just like add a little more, pump it up here and there. That's not necessary. Flashbacks need to have a purpose. They need to be there for a reason. They can't just be something that wouldn't matter or a scene that can just easily be scrapped, No, they should illuminate something in the present. So in the present of the story, when we flash into something should be revealed and illuminated about that present and where the story and the real conflict is. We can't just go back and show the character used to like flowers when they were young if that doesn't have an impact in the present. So remember, flashbacks need to have a purpose. And the second mistake that writers make a lot is that they put in too many flashbacks. It's just one after the other. We're no longer in the present. The conflict is just all over the place because we're following a story and then we have so many trying to explain things that it just doesn't follow a thorough line, So you have to find a good balance, trying to reveal things with flashbacks, but not just taking us out of the storyline that we're trying to tell. So remember, flashbacks can be a good thing. It's not just a myth that they're always bad. Just know how to use them in a way that actually adds to the main conflict of your story.